Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. If you're new, first of all, welcome. Thank you very much. Make sure you subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the blog. You don't want to miss out on giveaways, on events that I have planned, on things that I'm planning on launching pretty soon, either services, products, or events. Things of that nature. So make sure you subscribe to the blog, to YouTube, and find me anywhere else on social media, okay? It's Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. That's my email. You can email me questions. I'll get back to you. I'll keep you anonymous. And today's question comes from someone who called me, which, by the way, you can also call or text. It's 949-415-6256. So today's somebody from a site, they're a site owner, and they called me asking about budgets, right? And they're a relatively young site. I think they just got started recently, like within this year, maybe a little longer than that, but not much. So their question basically revolved around one theme, which is negotiating budgets. And so they're very fearful of negotiating budgets, and I remember this from my early days in research too. When I got started as a site owner, I was always fearful that, hey, I don't want to push too hard, I don't want to negotiate too much, I don't want to be too tough of a negotiator, because these sponsors and these CROs, they're not going to want to work with me again, right? And that can't be further from the truth. I've actually been told by several sources, several reliable sources at CROs and at sponsors, that one of the surefire tells of a site without much experience is the fact that they accept whatever budget they're given. All right, so it's actually quite the contrary. If you don't negotiate, it's kind of a red flag for them. Like, you kind of tip them off that you're a new site and you're inexperienced, so they may not even give you the study after all. So you definitely do want to negotiate, all right? It's in your best interest to negotiate the most you can for your site. If you're the owner, whether you have partners or whether you're a solopreneur and you're the only owner, you have a fiduciary responsibility to your company. And part of that fiduciary responsibility is negotiating the best budgets you possibly can without knowingly leaving any money on the table, right? Now, the sponsors and the CROs, they also have a fiduciary duty to their organization. They're trying to get away with paying you as little as possible that you'll still accept. So, and this is exactly what my client told me, or hopefully my future client told me. There is quite a disparity between what the sponsor is willing to pay, that should be down here, what the sponsor is willing to pay versus what he is expecting to get paid for that same study. So that little gap right there, or that big gap in most cases, is where your negotiating is going to have to come into play. And by the way, when I'm talking about negotiation, I'm not just talking about the actual budget. I'm talking about the terms of the contract. So you want monthly payments, not quarterly payments. You want the advance. You want invoiceable things. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll find out about that. I'm also going to be writing another book pretty soon, how to negotiate contracts and budgets. So you definitely do want to negotiate. Usually, I've heard some sites able to triple and quadruple an initial budget. What I've learned in this industry is that as long as you provide written documentation and justify your cost reasonably, they will approve anything, all right? Now, they're going to try to throw different things out at you, like the Sunshine Act and comparative cost of care in your area that insurance companies are reimbursing. There's ways around that. There's overhead. There's different things you can do to put yourself in a better situation. If you really are fearful about this or don't know how to navigate these murky waters, give me a call. My consulting company can help negotiate all your budgets for you, and it'll pay for itself after the first budget we negotiate. Right? So the lesson here is don't operate from a position of fear. especially when you're brand new. Like, this is the number one biggest rookie mistake that brand new sites make, is they're fearful to negotiate because they're fearful that they're not going to get future studies from that sponsor and CRO. Trust me, I was there. I know the feeling. I was just so happy to get studies, to actually be considered for a study, that I was a little hesitant to negotiate. But I did anyways because it just felt right. And it's in my DNA to be a negotiator, an entrepreneur, and a business person. For some of you, maybe that's not the case, and you're operating from a little bit of a higher position of fear. Either get over that or hire someone like me, or preferably me, to do this for you and teach you how to do this, so that after a few times you can actually be self-sustaining on your own and you won't need me, right? So let me know if this helps answer your question. It's Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com, and take care.
You